Hi guys, welcome to my real world review of the Samyang 24mm f1.8 AF lens for Sony E mount. With wedding season out the way, I've decided to put a few reviews up of some of my favourite equipment I've used over the last few years of predominantly wedding videography, but a couple of other things as well. I've had this lens for, as I say, about 3 years now, and predominantly it's been used as a gimbal lens at weddings for video, but I have also used it quite extensively as a photography lens for events like graduation balls and proms. For a quick conclusion, in my opinion, this is the best value 24mm you can buy for your Sony camera, and it's particularly undervalued. It's been advertised mainly as a astrophotography lens, but I haven't used it for that at all. It's not really my niche, and I think they've undervalued their advertising of how good this lens really is. I remember the first wedding, I took the risk of using the Samyang as my gimbal lens, and I was so worried that I kept an alternative in my hip bag all day just in case it messed up at any point, and then I'd only have missed one shot or one shot would be ruined. I also filmed a lot more sort of detail shots in the morning with the Samyang on the gimbal, moving in and out, push-ins and whatnot, just to see was it looking like it was going to cope okay. And to be honest, I was amazed at how well it tracked subjects and kept up, particularly with a couple when they walked down the aisle, as they raced fairly quickly at this wedding. And me and the photographer were both struggling to get into position with how quickly they sort of shot off. And then as the day went on from there, my confidence in it just grew and grew, as it didn't miss focus once. It just worked as you would hope it would. And not only that, it's actually pretty fast to focus, so I came away absolutely delighted with picking up this lens. From there, more and more weddings came through, and we were getting into the summer month, and I had photography as a second shooter, as well as a couple of events on my own where I could put it through its paces for photography. And in terms of sharpness, it's superb. In the center of the frame, razor sharp, wide open at 1.8. I do tend to use it at f2 just because you get more shots in focus at f2. There's not a big difference between f2 and 1.8 at 24mm. And a lot of the time as well, if it's photos, I'll be doing external lighting to help, whether it's off-camera flash or on-camera flash. So my 24 isn't typically my bokeh lens, if you like. And even out towards the edges, I've always been really happy with how it's performed in terms of sharpness. Where for environmental portraits of the couple, I find, as I said before with the video, its focus is really fast and accurate, and something about the rendering of the background here I really love. If I've noticed that with all the Samyang lenses I've bought in the past and the ones I currently use, and yeah, just something about that background I really like. It is only 1.8, so if you're trying to go for that bokeh-licious background, you can do it, but you would need to be quite careful in terms of your distance between your subject and your background to try to maximize that as much as you can. But as I say, even when you don't get that much background separation, I still like the way that it renders images. To back up the autofocus speed and accuracy claims, I have shot hundreds of photos at graduation balls and proms where I've found it almost never misses. And I think that's a pretty good test of it, where you're in quite low light, people are moving around quite quickly, and yeah, I'm super confident with how well this lens functions on one of those types of events. So overall, I would say I absolutely love this lens. It's so lightweight. I love the wee sort of composite plastic feel to it. It doesn't feel like a solidly built lens. It feels pretty cheap, to be honest, but that gives it its lightweight. means it's easy to take around all day, you don't feel the weight of it, and I just find it quite fun to use, makes you want to shoot. So I would say if you're in the market for a fast 24mm, you really can't go wrong with this Samyang. At 1.4, you would get a little bit more background separation and help in lower light conditions, but for me, I value the lighter lens that, as I say, is fun to pick up and use, and then keep a few hundred in the bank.